Welcome to Insider Info. Today, we're diving into the slopes with a Wallace local and longtime ski instructor at Lookout Pass. With years of experience coaching everyone from budding racers to seasoned pros and a reputation for his friendly, approachable nature, Charlie Roberts has stories, tips, and insider secrets you won't want to miss. Let's get started. Hey, Charlie, thanks for doing this. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Cody. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Had a good day. Did you instruct today?
Did not. I got a few errands done around the house, around town. I didn't put my boots on.
All right. Well, I'm going to get right to business here. I've got a bunch of questions prepared for you. I appreciate you jumping on here, like I said, and I'm just going to start firing the questions. All right. And also, anybody jumping on this call, please text your comments, and I'll read them to Charlie. We have a viewer question area, and I'd appreciate it, and it makes it kind of fun. All right, let me pull this question up here. Can you share your journey as a ski instructor at Lookout Pass? How did you get started, and what has kept you teaching for all these years?
I got started, I guess, originally with the free ski school. That's kind of how I learned to ski, and then I volunteered as an instructor for a season. And I had another friend who was working with the resorts ski school, and he kind of recruited me, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, that's a terrific backstory too. And you spent a little time ski instructing at Schweitzer too, didn't you?
I did. I was there for 10 winters. And that was a lot of fun. That's a great mountain as well. And they've got some good camaraderie in that resort there as well, with a lot of the locals and longtime employees. I definitely enjoyed my time up there.
Yeah, that's where we met in passing. We didn't talk that much, but I always enjoyed it when we did, and it was cool to meet you out at Lookout and know somebody there, at least a familiar face.
Yeah, it was fun to see you walk in the door not too long ago. Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. All right, let's go on to the next question here. And what certifications or specialized trainings have you pursued as a ski instructor? And how do those shape the way you teach different types of skiers?
Well, just, I guess, general certifications. I've got an Alpine level 2. I've got a children's specialist 1. And then on the racing side of things, I've got an entry level 100. And with the race team, I mostly work with the younger kids. But that's been a lot of fun the last few years as well. Something just a little different.
I'd like to follow up on that too. I don't think a lot of people understand the amount of work it takes to become a level 2 certified instructor. Can you kind of explain what that is in more detail?
I guess I'll do my best. It's been a while since I took the certification, but there's definitely a fair amount of homework that goes into it. You've got to study up quite a bit on the Alpine technical manual. And that goes into different techniques, how to be a little more efficient, let the ski do its job, basically. And there's a skiing and a teaching portion as well. So you're on snow for a couple of days, and then a written exam.
Yeah, I took the level 2 at Schweitzer and I failed it. So I'm hoping to take it again this year. And a lot of people fail it. And the reason I bring it up is I don't think enough people come and ask for a higher level instructor. And if they're going to pay for lessons, I suggest they get somebody that, like you, that has put the time in to get their level 2. I'm also curious more about the kids training. I've heard about that. Does that just teach you how does it give you the nuances of working with kids, or what is the goal of that certification?
It's a little bit of nuances of, kind of how to make things fun, for people, well, for kids, right? And it
Hmm.
breaks down how we learn at different, um, within different age ranges, how we develop physically, um, as we grow. So there were some good insights there. I've worked with kids for a long time, but it was fun to go a little more in depth into that. And it's like, oh, well, that's why. Um, so that was great.
Yeah, I saw you teaching a kid the other day, and he liked to bowl. So you incorporated his love of bowling into putting his weight on
Ah,
his downhill ski, things like that, or is that just your genius all on your own?
that was all him. Like, well, we can just
Oh, really?
pretend like he liked to bowl. So like, oh, let's try and make it work. But he seemed to get it all right. So it worked okay, I'd say.
All right, yeah, and then finally the racing. I don't know very much about that, but that certification is interesting. Is it? There's so much to know with that. I mean, is it? Can you just briefly explain what that teaches you to become certified as a race instructor?
Um, it did take some time. And they've got a whole nother, they've got their version of the technical manual, and um, at that entry level 100 at least, in my opinion, it felt like they were fundamentally pretty similar. But that level 100, homework wise, was probably comparable to the level 2 Alpine cert from PSIA. Um, well, I just had to learn, I guess, some different verbiage, and it's the main difference is how can we ski and go as fast as possible.
Yeah,
Whereas in
that's
the
interesting.
yeah, on the
Hmm.
PSIA side, I feel like it's a little more, um, how can we maintain a little more control over our skis? Um,
Yeah, when I hear all that, you can't do much better than Charlie for instructing your kids and also learning to ski fast. I mean, I'm sure you enjoy instructing adults as well. So thanks for a
I
little
do.
explanation on all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Might have skipped a question here. Well, just give me a second. We might have to edit this out afterwards.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, Lookout Pass has a reputation for its varied terrain. Can you walk us through the layout of the resort and share some of your favorite runs?
Most definitely.
Here, just a second. Let me share the screen for us here so I can kind of go through what you're showing us. All right, there we go.
Okay, so yeah, we've got, well, it looks like chair one there. Um, but as soon as you get off of the interstate, I mean, the resort's right there. Um, and with parking in mind, it can get a little busy, but I feel like as long as you're there by 8 o'clock or so, you can usually get a decent spot. Um, you might have a little bit of a walk to like the main lodge or the base area there. If it's a Saturday and you get there at 10:30, 11. But um, we've got the little beginner area, I guess, just left of the lodge on the map. We spend quite a bit of time there as instructors. Um, and there's a decent little run there. You can definitely, I mean, you can practice anything on it if you really want to. Um, but then from there, up chair one, and the easiest route back to the lodge would be Huckleberry Ridge.
Definitely getting familiar with that ski instructing up there myself. Huckleberry Ridge. Got it.
Yep, yep, yep. And I guess, well, if it's your first time up there, on Huckleberry Ridge, that little narrow section towards the top can be a little intimidating. But there's plenty of great runs off of it as well. If you know how to make some turns already, Gold is a nice wide groomer. You can make big fast turns on it if you'd like. Silver's a great one there as well, and Copper. I definitely enjoy all three of those runs. On the other portion of the front side of chair one there, Bonanza and Golden Eagle are great. I really, really like Hoot Owl. I wish it was, maybe 6 times longer than it actually is before you get to that cat track. That's a great, consistent, easy intermediate pitch.
Isn't this also where they're calling some of this double black diamond over here too, right? And some of these tree routes.
Yeah, and those, they aren't extremely steep, as far as like some double black diamonds are concerned, but the trees make it a little more difficult. But there's plenty of fun to be had in there, as long as there's enough snow.
There's another interesting thing about this mountain. They have kind of like a half pipe they've carved out of everything. And I don't think you're really a terrain park guy, but it's pretty interesting what they've done with that kind of natural half pipe or dugout half pipe over here.
Yeah, I've always just thought of it as like a little natural trick ditch kind of a thing, but yeah, you can have a lot of fun on that. Great spot to introduce yourself to some little 180s, or if you want to try 360s or something, you can jump out of that ditch, and they groom both sides of it really well. So you don't have to worry about jumping out onto any weird bumps or varied terrain. It's always nice and smooth groomer either side of the ditch.
And that's Rolling Thunder, right? Where all that is?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
What about it seems like Lookout's very proud of Eagle Peak, as they should be, because it has terrific long intermediate runs and some pretty good steeps. I really like some of the tree runs there as I weave through some of the other ones. Do you have any favorite runs back here?
I don't know. I haven't spent as much time back there as I would like. It just takes a little while to get over there and back. So it's kind of hard to do in our standard 1 hour lesson. But if I had to pick a favorite, I can't pick just one, Cody, but I really like Rubicon over there. Olympia's got a good consistent, slightly steeper pitch to it. And the Paradise Glades are pretty fun as well.
Yeah, I have yet to do Rubicon. All right, thanks a lot. I think that gives us a pretty good idea of what's going on with the map here. I think it's also interesting as some of the good steep runs are off this chair over here. What is this chair over here that kind of gets forgotten sometimes?
Chair 3. We did almost forget chair 3.
Yeah.
And all 5 of those runs are a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're nice and steep, aren't they?
They are. They're probably the steepest terrain on the mountain. You've got the old Big Dipper and Hercules that you come to first, as you're skiing down. And those never get groomed. So they can get, a little moguled out and kind of bumpy, but definitely a lot of fun on a good powder day. And that chair line Purgatory, it's the same. And then Red Dog and Marmot are groomed pretty regularly. And they're just a pretty good, slightly steeper pitch, consistently all the way down. And Red Dog kind of at the bottom has a little bit of a banked funnel, if you will, as you come into the lift. So that's kind of fun to ski up, and you can dive down. almost like a natural half pipe feel as well.
Yeah, thanks for walking through all that with us. I mean, I think the mountain's a lot of fun. I think the only thing maybe it could use is some more double black diamond. That's why I wanted to point out the trees there. Um, but I think all the runs are longer than you'd imagine for a resort that's just over 1,000 acres skiable, right? There's a lot of skiing to be had, and even an advanced skier is going to have some fun if they jump in those trees. So yeah,
Oh,
thanks
most
for all
definitely.
those.
Yeah, there's plenty of little nooks and crannies, plenty of fun to be had.
All right, Wallace is such a unique town. What's your favorite après ski spot there, and why do you think it adds to the charm of skiing at Lookout Pass?
Um, it's hard to pick a favorite après spot, Cody. Which I think is uh, what adds to the charm. I mean, there's several options to go out and get food and or drinks for a fairly small town. Like, I, do you have a hankering for anything? Like what sounds good to you at the moment, Cody? What are you looking for dinner tomorrow?
Let's say I decided to come out to Wallace and I rented a room at the Stardust or something, and I had a long day of skiing and I wanted to go on a date night at a nice restaurant. Where would I go in Wallace?
Okay, if you're looking to go out for a date night, I would recommend either the Fainting Goat or the Blackboard Cafe. Um, both great little sit down restaurants. Got a nice kind of intimate feel, delicious food. Um, if you're looking just for like a burger and fries, I'm gonna say probably the Outlaw, which is in Mullen. So even just a little closer to the ski hill. But you've also got the 1313 Club in Wallace. They've got good burgers. And then, if you're looking for just cocktails or drinks, I'd recommend the Silver Corner. You've also got the Metals. Um, you've got the Sixth and Cedar. It's an espresso bar, kind of up front, but then they've got a full bar in the back as well. And I know I'm probably forgetting a few, but Muchachos Tacos in Wallace. They've got pretty good
Yeah, I
little
like that
Mexican
place.
fare. I love their
Yeah.
Crunch Wrap Supreme.
All right, Crunchwrap Supreme. I'm doing a review on Lookout, and I went into there and grabbed some video. So that's one place I like for a quick bite. What would you say is your personal, if you had to choose one place, it's your favorite place to go out to in Wallace? Where would it be if you just had to
If,
pick one?
if I had to pick one, I'd go with the Silver Corner.
The Silver Corner. All right, now we know. We know where to find Charlie.
Yeah.
And we also have some comments kick in, and we're going to ask Charlie one more question I have planned for him, and then we're going to the viewer questions portion. So if anybody has questions, please pop them in there now, and I think it's a lot of fun to see what people ask. So one more question, and we'll get to everybody's questions. Have you been to Quinn's Hot Springs, and what's your take on it as a post-skiing destination for relaxation?
I think it's a great spot. Personally, I haven't been there in a handful of years. I think they've done a remodel since then, and it looks amazing. But I mean, the pools are right there. They've got the restaurant and the bar. The different rooms in the cabins, and it's fairly close to Lookout. It's what, 30 miles or so.
Let me pull up the map really quick here because I do have that information ready because I knew that might come up. So just a second.
Yeah.
Just to show where everything is. We share the screen really quick. There we go. So I plotted this kind of going from one place to the next, but here's Wallace right there, right? And
Okay.
then
Yeah.
Lookout Pass is what? 20 minutes from Wallace, if that, 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes tops.
And then
12
it's just a
miles.
really, really pretty drive over to Quinn's. It ends up being about 45 minutes, really. I just plotted these all together. But
Okay, yeah. Well, and the drive over to Quinn's is gorgeous. And there's, a good chance you might see some mountain goats climbing up those steep rocky faces over there, which is always fun as well.
here's a look at the new
Oh
pools
yeah.
there too that you mentioned. And I've been there since the new pools, and it's pretty amazing. The one thing I'd say is you need to get a reservation
Okay, yeah.
because it gets so
Get
busy.
busy. And Cody, that's the first I'm seeing of the remodeled pools. That is beautiful.
Yeah, they've kicked it up a notch. I liked it before, but I mean it's pretty big time, and I love the place.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to go check it out.
Here's a better picture of the pools without them being all touched up. But still, I mean, what a great picture there. They got the right time of day, all the snow. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't been there in quite a while. I'll have to go give it a shot.
Well, maybe one day after instructing, we'll go out, we'll get some reservations, and we'll get the hookup because we're big time ski instructors. You're
Yeah,
level two,
yeah,
you
making
know.
the big bucks.
I'm a level two of failure, but all right, cool.
Hey,
Yeah,
don't give up yet. Keep trying. I've failed that level 3 exam a couple times, but I'll get it one of these days.
yeah. By the way, everybody, these exams are very hard. They're not. You have to study a ton, and there's a written and an on mountain. So give him a break for not getting 3 and me not 2. But I plan on taking the 2 again this year. All right, now there's the part I'm excited to see here. Let me remove that. Get us both talking. Let's see, viewer questions. All right, let's see what we've got here. Let's start with maybe you know some of these people. Do you happen to know Barry?
Oh, I don't think so.
All right, well, here we go. Are there any mountain tours available for skiers there for the first time? That's a good question.
I don't think they have a specific mountain tour option at the moment, but I'm sure they'd be willing to work with you.
Well, I want to show them something really quick because they could get a instruction. Like you go to like these big resorts now, it's $500 for a half day lesson, 1,000 for a day lesson. I have the prices pulled up. I'm just going to show everybody really quick because
Hmm.
just get a private maybe. I mean a private lesson's $80 and just have somebody show you the mountain maybe or just ask them for that. I'm sure somebody could make it happen. I don't know. But
Yeah,
or ask me or
definitely.
Charlie. I'll show you the mountain if you just get a hold of me. I'll do it for free.
There you go.
Or watch this video and ask specific questions or my review that I'm going to have done pretty soon. All right, thanks, Barry. Do you recommend group lessons for beginners or private lessons?
Um, well, that really just depends on what you're looking to do, in my opinion. Like a group lesson is a great way to learn and get started. Um, well, maybe even make some new friends along the way. Um, and if you're looking to improve on something specifically, I guess that's where I'd recommend the private lesson. So for beginners, I'd say the group lesson's a great way to go.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie too, and I'll just second that. I mean, it's nice to do a private lesson as well, especially if you've had some work. But um, I just showed the lessons at Lookout are more affordable than any place I've seen. So I don't think you're going to do better than private or group lessons there.
I would agree, Cody.
All right, let's see. Get a question from Melissa here. Thanks, Melissa. What are the things you work on with the racers that might help recreational skiers? Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. First thing that comes to my mind would be outside ski turns, or sometimes it's called a stork turn. Um, where as you start that turn, try and get pretty much all of your weight and balance over onto that outside ski and see if you can get the tail of the inside ski up off the snow as you come around. And then as you turn the other direction, it flip flops. And that's just a great kind of basic kind of a drill that is good for everybody.
Yeah, I know Melissa, so that's I know she likes the stork, and she's worked on the advanced stork, and that's something she drills on a lot. She's got a lot
Yeah,
of
very cool.
instruction.
Um,
I would
well,
say
it
you have
makes,
anything besides the stork that you might put on top of that?
um, well, Melissa, if you've done the stork turn a handful of times, take it into a javelin turn. So as your outside ski is turning, instead of just getting that inside ski up, let's see if you can get it up and out over that outside of that turning ski. And that's just going to add in a little separation between your upper and lower body.
All right, thanks a lot, Charlie. That was an awesome explanation. All right, we have another one that came here. This is from Zorflax and Gnome Child. I like the name. I hope that's the real name. I'm guessing it's not. Nice picture too. At Lookout Pass, I am curious about side country areas. The area on the other side of the freeway, people skin up on the new chair, up on the face to the left, out of bounds. I see some tracks. Thanks.
So that area on the other side of the freeway, um, there's an access road over there that they groom semi-regularly, so you can skin up the road and then ski down. I think there's an old FFA dish or something up there that access is needed to. That's why they groom it. And they do some avalanche classes over there from time to time as well. I think those are mostly through North Idaho College in Coeur d'Alene. And I've skinned it a couple of times, but honestly I prefer the chairlifts. And then out of bounds on chair 5. I haven't been back there much personally, so I can't talk too much on that. But I appreciate the question.
All right, I might have a follow up for that. I have a buddy that does a lot of backcountry skiing. I'm kind of like you. I've got the stuff to do it. I don't do it as much as I'd like to, or I maybe should. I've heard about getting to Copper Lake or something. That's a good backcountry route from there. Have you done that?
Only in the summertime. I did it on a bicycle once, and it was steep enough that we ended up having to walk the bike most of the way up, but it was fun to ride down.
All right.
And that's accessible via the old Highway 10 route. So you take the Lookout exit and go back towards chair 2 on the old railroad grade, and you'll wind into that old highway route a little bit.
All right, thanks. I think we've gone through all the questions. If anybody has some questions, shoot, I'll watch. And I'll go back to my questions I have set up for Charlie. Thanks, Charlie. Can you tell us about the Bernard Stockbridge collection and why it's something you're passionate about?
Yes. So that's what I do in the summertime. I work at the Barnard Stockbridge Museum. And there may be some changes to that coming over the winter. But that's one specific photography collection. Thomas Bernard and Nellie Stockbridge at different times operated the same studio in Wallace. When we might be changing the name just to broaden the collection a little bit. There's like the George Tabor collection is another one that we might be able to bring a little bit of that in, for example. But it's just a fairly extensive collection of photos throughout the Silver Valley. And it's just kind of like a cool little time capsule for the region. Um, and there's a few
Okay.
lookout pass in there, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So you mentioned that to me, and it was a lot of fun because it shows the history of the area. Also, there's some beautiful pictures of the lake and some of the snow over in the past, and also this is a bit of a follow up, but also pictures of the Burke mine. Do you mind? I think this is an interesting part of Wallace, and it's just a touch of some of the history there. Can you kind of explain what happened at the Burke mine with the feds coming in there and everything else, and some of the pictures that Bernard Stockbridge has of that period and Wallace's past?
Um, so yeah, what you're thinking of there, Cody, that was at the Frisco mine and mill, specifically, and it was in a little township by the name of Gem, which is up Burke Canyon. And this was, oh, what, 1892 was the first labor war, and kind of the beginning of unionization in the area. And a lot, well, almost all the day-to-day workers, miners, laborers went on strike. The mine owners, who were buddies with the governor, were able to get martial law declared. And there was a little gunfight that broke out between the union miners who were on strike and had a picket line, and some scab workers, and the union members ended up blowing up the mill. And the feds came into town and just arrested everybody, and things eventually calmed down. But um, it was quite the story.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, thanks for that brief description. I know there's some information out there. Ooh, we lost your camera a little bit. I'll let you
Hello?
correct that. You're still there.
All right,
I'm
good.
trying to show, I'm clicking on the collections on this web page. Just I want people to see some of this because it's pretty amazing. And so here we go. Here's some of the pictures. It's kind of scrolling through on its own, I think, along the bottom here in this
Okay, yeah.
collection. Let's see if like so it looks like an old pharmacy. That's what Wallace, probably around late 1800s.
Yep, early 1900s, yeah, somewhere in there. And if people are interested, I think you've got the museum website pulled up there. And you can also look through the archives through the University of Idaho. If you just Google search Bernard Stockbridge collection.
Okay, and I've looked that up before, and I'll put that in the link after this so they can get to it and look at some of his photos. If you wanted to buy something of his or a print of it, how do you go about that?
We do offer. We've got 8x10 prints at the museum. We can also email digital copies over, so you can blow those up to any size that you'd like. And you may be able to talk to the University of Idaho as well on getting some of those reproduced.
All right, yeah. How much are they?
The 8x10 prints, I believe, are $20. Same for the digital copy.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot. See, we have one more question. If you mind taking another question, Charlie.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, here we go. YouTube user looks like the photo museum is only open May through September. Skiers will have to come back in the summer.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that came up, but I'm sure they can
Yes,
purchase
well,
one through the U of I or get a hold of you if they really wanted one, huh?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, YouTube user. Sometimes I get
Yes.
frustrated when people point out certain things, but that was very helpful.
And I appreciate that as well. I forgot to mention it. But that's why I'm able to teach ski lessons in the winter.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all the comments and questions. I'll have one final question here. And how can people contact you for lessons at Lookout Pass?
Oh, 208-744-1301, extension 245. And that'll get you right to the sales desk.
All right. And everybody, if you look at the bottom, it has it right there, 208-744-1301, extension 245. See, all right. Well, thanks a lot, Charlie. That was a lot of fun. And I'll take this and I'll put some B-roll up. I'll throw some pictures up from the museum so people get a better idea. But I'm working at Lookout too, and Charlie is a very experienced instructor. I don't think there's any better deals for getting privates or group lessons than at Lookout. And I think Charlie's one of the best instructors up there, and I'm glad he did this. And I hope somebody contacts Lookout and gets a lesson from Charlie. So thanks a lot, Charlie.
Hey, thank you, Cody. I appreciate the praise, and it was fun doing this. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.